Don't fiddle around now, man. Yeah, you speak now. Start speaking.
Namaste. Greetings to one and all. I'm Mrs. Shobha Ramesh. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Mrs. Shobha Ramesh. Oh, there is somebody. Am I audible, Ramesh? I'm Mrs. Shobha Ramesh, a PhD scholar from the Faculty of Fine Arts, Annamalai University, Chidambaram. And I'm also a graded Carnatic vocalist of All India Radio and a performing musician. And I give concerts. And it gives me great, immense pleasure to be a host this evening on behalf of the host schools today. And welcome to the Grace Masters series, which is a series of interactions with the legends or the disciples of some of the greatest gurus of Indian classical music and dance. These series of interactions were introduced to make the new and the rising generation aware of the approach and style of the legendary artists and to know about the musician behind the music. On behalf of all the host schools, I would like to convey my art pleasure and privilege to host the SPIC MACAY event this evening. Today we are celebrating, yes, a call coming. Today we are celebrating the legendary Guru Sangeet Natak Academy awardee Vidwan Dr. Chitti Babu through this great masters event. We welcome Veena Gana Visharada Shri S. Sundar, his prime disciple, who has agreed to share some of his valuable experiences that he has had with his legendary Guru. I now invite Professor Sudarshan, who himself is a top-graded violinist from the Department of Music, Annamalai University, Chidambaram, to give a brief welcome address. Welcome, Dr. Sudarshan. Is Dr. Sudarshan online? Is Dr. Sudarshan online, sir?
Yeah, Dr. Sudarshan has been given access, so he has left actually.
Oh, he has left?
Yeah, he has joined and left. Vallampati Sudarshan. Yes.
Yes. 1 second. Huh?
Talk about Chitti Babu for all.
Okay. I think maybe there is some connection problem or something. So I'll continue by introducing Dr. Chitti Babu. It's my great privilege to introduce Dr. Chitti Babu. Let me take a shorter version. Vidwan Dr. Chitti Babu was born on 13th October 1936 in Kakinada in Andhra Pradesh to music-loving parents Sri Rangarao Chellapalli and Srimati Sundaramma Chellapalli. He was initially named Hanumanulu, and Chitti Babu was his nickname, which eventually came to stay as his main name. He was a child prodigy who started playing veena at the age of 5 and gave his first performance at the age of 12 years. He was the prime disciple of Maha Mahopadhyay, Dr. Emani Shankara Shastri. In 1948, his family moved to Chennai, where he got opportunities to act in a few movies at a young age. However, Dr. Chitti Babu was determined and focused on becoming a performing classical musician. Though he was associated with filmdom briefly, he very soon established himself in this field of classical music, and he won several accolades in his illustrious career. That includes the Sangeet Natak Academy Award in 1990, the Kalaimamani Award in 1972, and he was the Asthana Vidwan at the Tirupati Devasthanams. However, his most cherished title was that of the Vainika Shikhamani, presented to him in 1967 by the then Maharaja of Mysore, Sri Jayachamarajendra Vodeyar, who, on hearing Chitti Babu, was so impressed that he presented a gold chain with a gold-studded pendant that he himself was wearing to Dr. Chitti Babu in a spontaneous gesture of appreciation. This was very much cherished by Dr. Chitti Babu throughout his life, as the Maharaja himself was a great connoisseur of music. Now I request Aditya or Advait. Advait to take over to introduce Vidwan S. Sundar. Thank you. Shall I-
Vidwan Sundar Ji is a senior top seed artist of the AIR and Doordarshan. Sundar Ji had been featured in all the prestigious concerts of Akashvani, Prasar Bharati and Doordarshan over the years in Chennai and also outside Chennai. Private channels too, like Kalinga TV, Vijay TV, SPBC, etc., have also flashed his concerts live as well as recorded repeatedly over time with tremendous audience response and feedback. Sundarji is a senior impaneled artist of the ICCR, Ministry of Culture. Sundarji's virtuosity had been applauded and admired by the likes of Dr. MLV, Dr. Bal Murali Krishna, Dr. Imani Shankar Sastri, Dr. Yesudas, Dr. Kunnakudi Vaidyanathan, Sri D.K. Jayaraman, Dr. S. Ramanathan, Dr. P.B. Srinivasa, and many others. Sundarji was trained by Sri Sitarama Iyer, a disciple of Kayakudi Sambasiva Iyer, at the Nilai Sangeet Sabha Music School for about 3 years when an incredible divine gift came his way. As luck would have it, at a tender age, Sundarji was chosen spontaneously and committed to be taught and trained to greater heights by his Guruji, Dr. Chitti Babu. After his concert at the Nilai Sangeet Sabha, Tirunelveli, when the maestro spared time to hear him play on the divine instrument at his residency, this was a life-changing moment of his career. Again, extremely lucky, Guruji, Dr. Chitti Babu, gave Sundarji a concert on the occasion of Guru Vandana, organized by him to pay homage to his Guru, Dr. Imani Shankara Sastri, at Sankara Hall, Arvapet, Chennai, when the evening artist was paid rich encomiums by the entire stardom of artists turned audience that evening. Now I would like to request Vidwan Sundarji to talk about his Guruji, Dr. Chitti Babu.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening, all of you. I have great pleasure in speaking about my Guruji, who is a very great global, legendary artist who has conquered several minds throughout the world with his Veena music. First of all, I would like to sing a song which he accompanied in a movie. This particular song, nobody can forget in their life. Such a wonderful classical cinema music. It is from the movie Kalai Kovil. So, தேவியர் இருவர் முருகனுக்கு திருமால் அழக மருகனுக்கு கேளடி தோழியே அறிவாயோ எனக்கோ இடம் நீ தருவாயோ எனக்கோ This is from that movie Kalai Kovil, in which my Guruji has performed throughout the cinema, and it was a super duper hit in those days, in the year 1964, in which the very renowned artist Muthuraman was the hero of that movie. Actually, this particular movie is a story of a musician, that too a Veena artist. Mr. Muthuraman has played the role of a Veena artist in the movie, throughout that movie. So it was a fantastic coincidence, or you can call it a God gift, that my Guruji was playing Veena throughout that with the LP, and it was reigning supreme. His music was reigning supreme in that movie because it's a Veena artist story, and it mellifluously mixed with the beautiful voice of Susila Ma in this particular P. Susila, in this particular song, and many other songs. So that was a very great break for my Guruji, and there was no looking back for him. His career has already started earlier than this movie. So he was playing in some concerts and some recordings in music with G. Ramanathan, M.S. Viswanathan, and all those great masters. So his veena took off, though he had a fantastic melody in his hands. It took off from this particular movie, and it was really a great success story. So actually, when he was a small boy, my Guruji, when his father was playing veena, this boy who was playing came rushing to his father and said, "Daddy, you are playing wrongly. You give the veena, I will play." So he took the veena from the hands of his father and he corrected the mistake that was committed by his father. That was the spark he had in him as a child. So after this movie, he had got so many chances to go to many of the countries. Pan-India concerts were arranged for him, and his every concert was a great success because of the melody he had in his hands. Mahasaraswati Devi had endowed her full blessings on my Guruji, Dr. Chitti Babu, as all of you may be aware of. So the very great speciality of his music is melody. You can call it mesmerizing melody, mellifluous melody, magical melody. You can call anything you want. But my view is that I would call this melody of my Guruji a virgin melody, a silkish melody, a silken melody, because melody is an abstract, but if you concretize melody, it is like feeling a silk. If you touch the silk, it will be fantastic to touch and again enjoy. So that was the impact he created on the minds of his audiences throughout his career. And he has had several concerts in India. Some of them were very memorable for the audiences. He has also taken part in many of the international music conferences, and every time his music was applauded to the full hall, that is overflowing halls, not even houseful, it was overflowing. That was the impact he created with his music and his melody. I can refer to certain anecdotes from his life with my experience with him. Once, when I had started learning from him in 1972, when he had asked me to come to Chennai and started the class, he started playing Vatapi Ganapatim Paje on the veena. In front of him, I was sitting down. He started playing Vatapi. The Sangatis were flowing in one after the other so beautifully. Just I was gazing at the remarkable mastery of my Guru when he was playing this Vatapi. When I started class at initially, then he said, "Why have you stopped? I am not a master to teach you veena. You have to follow me," he said. So I had to follow him on the veena with this Vatapi. Was my first lesson from him I learned. So this was a very great experience for me. though I had learnt Veena in the earlier years of 2 or 3 years in Nellai Sangeeta Sabha, where one Mr. Sitaramayar was teaching Veena. He was a disciple of Karaikudi Sambasivayar. So I had some repertoire in my kitty, like some 20 kitras or something and some varnam. So with that, I had some standard to follow him as he had pronounced. Though it was a challenging task for me, but with some difficulty and inspirational teaching, I can say that. He was doing inspirational teaching and I was learning through the inspiration he just poured on me. I could do a jigsaw puzzle kind of thing, and I used to come home and practice whatever he taught. And I was in a position to make a mark in the music world as well. So once he had a concert in Mettur. Some of the anecdotes I can recite. Are you able to hear?
Yes, it's perfect. You can go ahead. Sir. Yeah.
So he had a concert in Mettur. He was traveling on road from Kumbakonam to Mettur. What happened was it was a very severe summer. So you know that Veena has got so many frets with wax. So by the time my Guruji reached the hall, the Veena frets were shaking because of the wax was melting in the hot sun. So he didn't know what to do. He could not even start the concert. Before that, there was a girl who had a Veena. She was in a position to share her Veena. She's a student. So with that, she also told him, some of the swaras are not very good, but I'm giving it to you because the situation is such. So with that, he took the Veena and performed in a tempting success is what it was. Though it was a Veena of a student, it was not his original concert Veena. With that, he was able to make a fantastic mark in that kacheri. So like that, once in Germany, he had gone for an international conference at Germany, where there were people from different countries. It was a big festival of music. And my Guruji was the first one and only one to represent India in that festival. It was kind of Tyagaraja festival. There were people drawn from different geographies. So they all musicians, they all wanted to perform. In that particular situation, once what happened was, there was a troupe of 72 artists from some other country. They were performing, and the extent of impatience for the audience was that they started booing, asking them to stop. It was such a boring concert. So, but what happened was, after that, my Guruji took over the stage and he pacified the audience. He played a fantastic role. He pacified the audience. He was cracking some jokes. He was giving some incidents, interesting incidents, and pacified the audience. After that, he performed for 2 to 3 hours. It was a simply fantastic concert, and it was standing ovation he received from the audience. Such was his experience. One more time, what happened was, he had a performance in Bombay. At that time, it was also a very big gathering. Actually, my Guruji is known for crowd pulling ability. Madhura Mani, all of you have heard Madhura Mani. He was such a great stalwart vocalist. He used to draw in Mylapore thousands of people. Even rickshawalas used to hear his concert up to 12 o'clock in the night. Such was his ability to, the style of his singing was great. So like that, every concert of my Guruji was a crowd pulling concert. He made a tremendous impact on the minds of the audiences because of the sheer melody and his mastery over the strings. So in that particular Bombay concert, Wahida Rahman was a very great celebrity actress in those days. She was the chief guest. At that time, what happened was the Sabha secretary, he was so excited that he on the phone said that the chief guest, Wahida Rahman, will speak. Then he introduced, now we have Dr. Chitti Babu. After his first marriage, he has come to Bombay. He has expressed like that by mistake because of his excitement. After his first marriage, he has told. So because of that, people were annoyed. What is this? The secretary is, it was a very lighter moment. Then immediately my Guruji took the mic and he said, see, this is not my first marriage. This is the only marriage. I assure my wife in presence of the audience, and I will not make this mistake again in my life. So that kind of a sense of humor he had. Nobody can miss his sense of humor. He will make any situation lighter and very enjoyable. And he was a person who was very amicable to everyone, irrespective of age, irrespective of their background. He used to be very, very friendly with everyone. That anybody would say that in the field also. So these are all very important anecdotes. Once there was an occasion where he had a guest. He had a friend by name Sadasivam. So the door was closed. At that time, morning, there was a knock at his door. At that time, what happened was he was angry with something that happened in the house. Whenever he got angry, he used to show it on wife or his mother, or he starts cleaning the house. So on that occasion, what happened was he was just having a talapakati, like, and he was wearing a lungi. And somebody knocked. Immediately, his wife, Sudha Madam, she just opened the door. Mr. Sadasivam, MS Subbalakshmi husband, he was standing at the doorstep. She was taken aback and she said, Vango, Vango, our ulla vandar MS. So he was in a very awkward costume, unlike a stage concert costume with his beautiful jibba and this thing. So immediately he changed and came and he addressed, he was having a talk with MS Amma. So this was also a very interesting anecdote from his life. And once what happened was, he asked me to come to Vijaya Gardens in the morning at 11 o'clock with the Veena. I was taken aback. I didn't know what to do. I don't have any rehearsal or anything. He said there is a recording. So in Vijaya Gardens, what happens was, one Mr. Bapu is a very great Telugu music director. He's a Telugu director. He has taken several movies. One is, for example, Goranta Deepam is a very great hit. That director had asked my Guruji to come and perform as a background for serial on television in US for school children. Ramayan was, as a serial, it was done by him. For this, he wanted my Guruji's background music. So I had gone there to Vijaya Gardens. He said, you have to follow me, some notes here and there, you just follow. I don't have any rehearsal, anything. He just had a fantastic extempore playing with the different ragas. Whatever that came to my mind, I was in a position to just follow him. And he blessed me like anything in those days. And talking about 1973. In 1974, Selvi Jayalalitha, you must have heard about her. She was our chief minister. She was a very great celebrity in Tamil movies. Her 100th film celebration was organized at University Centenary Auditorium. University Centenary Auditorium is supposed to be a bigger hall than even Music Academy. It had a far better capacity. So in that, the house was full. It was overflowing. In that, the entire celebration was over, and my Guruji was asked to perform because Selvi Jayalalitha was a great fan of Chitti Babu. So he performed on that day, and great luck would have it, I was behind him on the stage. I was seeing the audience and I was really very happy about it because the hall was fantastically filled. His performance was very superb, and he's a very flamboyant person actually. So what happened was he composed a song on Selvi Jayalalitha. So he sang on that day. The Kacheri started around 9:30 with his Veena music. He also gave a song composed by him on Selvi Jayalalitha, which created a flutter in the audience, and it was fantastically received. It was an overflowing audience. One more time, he had a program in Anand Theatre. See, generally, Sabha people will have in a Sabha or in any other venue. In Anand Theatre, in those days, theatre was there. Anand Theatre was a very famous theatre, big capacity. In that, Brahmagana Sabha. Brahmagana Sabha is a very big name in Sabhas in Chennai. So Brahmagana Sabha arranged his music on a Sunday. It was not a series of music concerts. It was only one concert by Dr. Chitti Babu. So at that time, 10:30, the program started. He went up to 1:30 and the hall was overflowing. They had to provide chairs in the pathways. Such was the big crowd for his music. So I was just awestruck, and I was not knowing what to do. Such a wonderful Mohanam he played. That day he played a Mohanam, which was really a superb lingering in my ears and brain. So such a fantastic show it was. So like that, so many things have happened in his life. Once what happened was, there was a TV recording in Chennai in which Dr. S.P. Balasubramaniam had to interview my Guruji, Chitti Babu. So he was a very popular playback singer, as you all are aware. So he had come, and there was a delay for about 5 minutes from our side. We had started from Guruji's house and came there. At that time, SPB was there. So immediately my Guruji went to the parking lot and he embraced SPB. So he was very happy and he said, okay, we'll start the program. The program was fantastic, in which my role was that we had to show all the plaques, that all the accolades he has received from different president and other dignitaries. In that, he mentioned his name, my name also. Sundar is also one of my disciples. So that was a very moment of elation for me. It was all because of his blessings, of course. And there were some coincidences in my life with him. Actually, he got married in the year 1967. At that time, AVM Rajeshwari Hall is very famous in Chennai, Mylapore. So there was a 2,000 strong invitees for the program. In that program, in his marriage with Sudakshana Devi, his wife's name was Sudakshana Devi. In that particular AVM Rajeshwari Hall, Dr. Imani Shankara Sastri performed his guru performed the music. It was packed with 2,000 audience. See, the rare coincidence was in 1983, I got married, for which my Guruji, Dr. Chitti Babu, performed. So he blessed me. It was also a very fantastic moment in my life. And once what happened was, he was not offered top grade for a long time, though he had every talent, every merit. We know the field. So at that time, he was tearing off the contracts of AAR. He has shown me, you go and bring that dustbin, I will show you. So from his house, in his house, I used to take the dustbin and see. Contract of AAR was torn by him, and he has protested like that. He has resistance he has shown. He didn't accept any concept from Doordarshan or AAR. This happened about 3 or 4 years. Then what happened was, at that time, when I got my A grade in 1982, I took the letter, the communication from AAR to show it to him and get his blessings. At that time, he told me that there was a call from AAR yesterday, Sundar, that, yes sir, solunga sir, the Mari vandu, they told me. Now, so immediately Guruji has reacted. You have not given me any concept, you have not upgraded me. So I'm very sorry about, sir, please wait. We wanted to tell you that you have been upgraded to top grade. So it was a very great moment in his life. Of course, he has seen many stages throughout the globe. So, but I had taken my communication as I had got lifted from B high to A grade. This was a very fantastic coincidence in my life. And there was also a wonderful concert of my Guruji in Bombay, Shanmuhananda Hall, in which he and his wife have taken the veena and he was about to perform at 7 o'clock. Actually, the hall was overflowing, and the performance that was going on in that hall was that of great maestro, Pandit Kathak Bridge Maharaj. His performance was going on. At that time, so many people were sitting on the floor. Actually, my Guruji was also asked to sit on the pathway, and he and his wife with the veena sat on the pathway until Bridge Maharaj concert was over. So this was such a great legend with his absolute sincerity, simplicity and humility. He said agreed. He agreed until his concert started. He was there at that time. So that was the greatness of this legendary, my Guru. And there are so many things due to paucity of time. Some of his concerts will definitely have some of his regular playing, like Chinnanjiri Pliye. You might have enjoyed, all of you, his Kukku song. And once what happened was, in Mysore, he had a concert in Mysore. He had a concert with the Swamiji, Sachidananda Swamiji. At that time, what happened was, usually in a concert, when he plays the Kukku song, he will give the sound of the Kukku twice, and he will play the song. Third time, he will just show his hands like this and say, no, it has flown off. Kukku has flown off. So he'll say that. So before this particular concert, Ganapati Sachidananda Swamiji's ashram in that he performed, that he was, same way he was performing, he had 2 times he has done that. He has produced the Kukku sound. Third time, what happened was, he was about to say it's flown. At that time, the real Kukku, it gave the sound. This was predicted by Swamiji himself. He has told his disciples that Chittibabu, when he plays, every time most of the times he will play. The third one, he will not play that. This time you wait and watch. The Kukku itself will come and raise its voice. So that was also a very wonderful experience. He had performed in many of the marriages of celebrities. He had a very big cinema of celebrity fans. Like I said, Sylvie Jayalalitha, K. Balachandar, Kamala Hassan, all those people. He had performed in their marriages also. Once there was a marriage concert in Mr. Mowgli. You must have heard about Mr. Mowgli. He was a very good playwright and an actor. His marriage, T.S. Balakrishna Sastrigal was his father. So in that particular concert, there was somebody who was not a very graded artist who was accompanying my Guruji on Mridangam. They had the permission. He said, okay, no problem at all. So such a great artist playing with a normal or amateurish Mridangist is something very rare because of his attitude and quality and his musical talent that he was in a position to accept. So that concert worked out to be very great. And some of the people who attended his concert in Mauli's marriage is S. Palachandar, Nagesh, and all those people also have applauded his music. So this was his experience in marriage concert.
Mister, you are not audible.
So before going to questions, just a 1 minute, I can add about a point regarding Dr. Chittibabu. Actually, it was a translation of an essay written by Shri Modumudi Sudhakar. So there was one SPIC MACAY concert was held on a Stella Maris College. So where Chittibabu sir was playing Carnatic music. So there were a group of people, students, who were asking continuously for playing him the wedding bell songs. So they were continuously applauding him. So Chittibabu sir has noticed one girl, 18-year-old girl. So he has asked her to come on the stage and asked her, what do you want? She said, wedding bells. So he asked her, what is your age? 18. So till now, your time for wedding bells still is there. So don't worry, it is about to come. And he said, do you know SPIC MACAY? Chittibabu sir has asked. So then the girl got silent. Then he said, so you should all know, you students, you should know about our culture, our classical music and our heritage. So first, please patiently listen to this Carnatic concert and later on, I will play the songs of your request. Then he played, after finishing his concert, he played the light music items such as Komalla Koilamma, wedding bells and the Kuku song and like that. So this is the one share I wanted to share it with all of you.
Abhishek, we need to have the questions. Sundar sir,
Yes.
Thank you, Sundar sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramesh.
Thank you, Sundarji, for giving us a glimpse into the legendary Guru's life. We now have a few questions from the students about your experiences with the Guru. I'd request Arish to kindly ask his question.
Pranam Vidwan Sundarji.
Ram.
I am interested to know that from which age did Dr. Chittibabu start learning?
He was learning from the age of 4. And
Thanks
he was.
for enlightening us.
I would now request Ashmi to ask a question.
Sir Sundarji, what was so special about Indian classical music for Vidwan Chittibabu?
Indian classical music. His music was appealing to the learned and the lay because of the extraordinary talent he had and the melody he created. As I had earlier told you, it was a virgin melody, I would call it. Like, a flower blossoming at 5 o'clock in the morning. You can see the petals so beautifully, silkish petals. Like that, his music, he was synonymous with music and he was synonymous with melody. So that was the speciality of his music on the Veena.
Thank you, sir, for your knowledge.
I would
Thank
now request stage VA to ask his question.
Pranam Guruji. What is
Ah.
one Dr. Chitti Babu's Bani? Kindly share some experiences.
Yeah, what is that? What did you ask?
What
Chitti Babu
is
Bani.
one Dr. Chitti Babu's Bani?
Bani, actually, he had created a Bani of his own after learning from Dr. Imani Shankara Sastri. He used to avoid certain gamakas. He will highlight certain gamakas. He will avoid certain other gamakas. To tell you a particular example, see, in Todi, supposing we sing a phrase in Todi. இப்போ நிறைய பேர் அந்த மாதிரி பாடுவான். அந்த மாலேந்து அந்த காந்தாரத்தை இழுத்து சதுசுருத்தி ரிஷபத்தை இழுத்தா காந்தாரம் வரும். எங்களுடைய பாணியில அவரோட பாணியில எப்படின்னா காந்தாரத்தை இழுத்துதான் அந்த கா கொடுக்கணும். சரி க அப்படி கொடுக்கணும். மாலேந்து வரும். So these are all gamakas which he will not play. So that is one speciality. It was uncompromising on melody, always.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us.
I would now request Aditya to ask his question.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam.
Anything else that you would like to share in particular with us about the experiences of Vidwan Dr. Chitti Babu?
Yes, there are so many, but due to paucity of time, I have to restrict my. One more I will tell you. He had students like us in Chennai and other places. Now they are all settled abroad and other places. And there was also a student from Germany. She was in Himalayas. She was a kind of sage, sage if she was. But she had a great liking for my Guruji's Veena playing. And she had contacted him several times. And she had come down from Himalayas to learn Veena from him. At that time, he said, okay, I'll teach you because you have come a long way. So he was teaching her some Veena music. After that, she returned to Himalayas. Again, she used to call him again after, I would say, about 15 days or 1 month. She used to ask him, are you available, sir? Shall I come on May 1st or something like that? Then he will say, oh, okay, you come. So 2-3 times he taught her like that. Afterwards, what happened was he was also feeling that she's coming all the way from a very long distance. So she said, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you learn from my Guruji, Dr. Imani, from Delhi? You can, it is accessible for you. Instead of coming all the way to Chennai, you can go to Delhi, learn from my Guruji, Dr. Imani. That he suggested, but she was not very keen about that. That is one thing.
Thank you for enlightening us, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sundarji, for enlightening us with this question and answer round. May I now request everyone to kindly mute themselves and the technical team to play a video dedicated to Sangeet Natak Tadya Award.
Advait, sorry, before we play the video, Abhishek, Lakshmi Prasad, she has come, she is also a student of Dr. Chitti Babu. So she has few lines to tell about Dr. Chitti Babu. You have to unmute Lakshmi Prasad.
Namaskarams to everyone, and thank you, Dr. Ramesh ji, for inviting me and to talk about Guruji. Sundarji has spoken so much, and he has had a real good experience. I was in the fag end of this life that I could join him. It was way back in the 90s that I got married and moved from Maharashtra to Chennai. And somebody told me that, Chitti Babu stays in the next lane. So I was very keen because I had already learned music in my college days in Bangalore from Jnana Bal, who is the disciple of Tiger Vardacharya. So I said, okay, let me pursue my music after my marriage. So somebody told me this is where he stays, but then he seldom takes classes now. It's very difficult because my neighbor told me I have tried for my daughter and somehow it was not a success. You know, he was not able to teach. So I said, okay, let me give a chance. And I went to this house. And first time when I went, you know, nobody introduced me, nothing. I just gate crashed his house and I just introduced myself and I told I'm so and so. I would like to learn Veena from you. Both husband and wife, Guruji and Sudhanti, were so sweet. They welcomed me, a stranger. They welcomed me. I sat with them. I think I spent the first time for almost half an hour talking to them. But Guruji never accepted me immediately. You know, he said, okay, let me think about it. You come next week. And I would go again next week. Then again, you know, he would talk everything else and he would say, come again next week. And you wouldn't believe this went on for a couple of months, you know. And then later on, I didn't give up. I kept going to him again and again whenever he was telling me to come. Then one fine day, he said, yes, Lakshmi, you can start playing today. Come and tell me what you can play. And, you know, I played Mohana Varna first thing. He took me to his house upstairs where he has a horn and, you know, I sat there and I played the veena. He said, okay, you can start coming for the class. You wouldn't believe he didn't ask me his fees and I came on board to learn from him. Not one day he has asked what should be his fees. And it was never a fixed timing when I had to learn music from him. I would go to his class and it would go on sometimes for more than an hour, more than 1.5 hours. You know, there was no fixed time at all. That is how he was for music. And invariably it would become late and just then I had conceived my daughter. So he was so concerned. He was such a caring person. He would never let me walk back home alone. He would always send his 3 of his sons or the friends of his sons would always accompany me to my house, drop me, and only then I would come. You know, that is, I would tell him, no, it's okay, I can go. It's okay, I know the way to go. You're new to Chennai, you wouldn't know. And it was just the next street. It was not even very far. So this was something, you know, very caring. Then when I started being his disciple, then Sudhanti told me that why he kept asking me to come week after week was just to test how sincere I was to learn music. It is not that he was willing to teach everybody. Sundarji was so blessed to have had him as a guru right from beginning, you know. So for me, it was a very different, he was very affectionate. This was something I felt very nice with him. And whenever all these students would meet, he would inquire all about our well-being, everything. He was very nice. And later on, I had my baby, my daughter, I delivered her in Bangalore. By then, he had had his heart surgery in Delhi and he came back and he couldn't climb 2 floors. I was staying on the 2nd floor. However, he had a concert in Chauraya Hall in Bangalore and he called me to say, I want to come and see your baby. So my parents were very excited because they all know who he was. And as a kid, you know, my mom would always take me to his concerts. That is how I have grown hearing him and all that. So he came, such a humble person. He and his wife came with a lovely gift for my daughter. I had not even named my daughter at that point. And my brothers and all of them were there and they just asked, Guruji, what do you think Lakshmi should name the child? And he was just thinking for a while. And by then, you know, my husband had a list of names. You know, he had a list from either of the grandparents, the child's mamas, everybody. So then later on, my brother told, see, we are just thinking of this name called Shruti. Then he said, yes, that's the perfect name. Even I'm thinking, I also was thinking about, because a couple of years earlier, Kamala Hassan's daughter was named Shruti, and you know, that name became quite popular. And that is how it was my mother-in-law and my Guruji together who named my daughter Shruti. Today, Shruti was also learned well music, you know, and it's actually Guruji's blessing that she got Shruti as a name. This is one of the incidents.
Lakshmi ji, thank you for such a wonderful narration about Chitti Babu. Advait, now you can request the technical team to play the video.
I would request the technical team to play the video dedicated to Sangeet Natak Academy awardee and Vidwan Dr. Chiti Babu. Kindly sit back and enjoy the soulful music.
All of you have to unmute yourself. Unmute and put up the video.
Next one is also from Anandam. Writing bells. Please get me straight. W. To end the concert, the Veda Kosham, Vedic hymn. Next one, Komalu Koila Koyentali, the cuckoo bird song, the composition of Telugu Janapada Kavi, Nanduri Subbarao garu. Indeed, the poet has written that the cuckoo bird on the branch of the tree is saying coo. I have tried to capture that bird song on this divine instrument in my humble way. Let us see whether we find the cuckoo here or not.
So thank you for the wonderful video. So we can have someone to say the vote of thanks, please.
Yes, we have Divya.
Sure. Just a minute. I would like to thank each and every one of you here today for supporting us through the event. Today, we leave with the feeling that it holds true for Sangeet Natak Academy awardee and Vidwan, Dr. Chitti Babuji, a great teacher, showed the correct path of teaching that he is a perennially flowing river and he lives forever in Indian music. We also thank Vidwan S. Sundarji for sharing his experiences about his Guru and Sangeet Natak Academy and awardee Vidwan Dr. Chitti Babuji. We would also like to express our gratitude to the founder director of SPIC MACAY, Professor Emeritus Dr. Kiran Seth from IIT Delhi, who is bestowed with Padma Shri Award and Sangeet Natak Academy Award, to name a few. We would like to express our thanks to the SRF Foundation for making this event happen. Last but not the least, we would like to thank the Faculty of Fine Arts, Department of Music, Annamala University, Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu for their cooperation. We would also like to thank Shillong Hills International School, all students, teachers, principal ma'am, and the entire faculty who made this event a great success. We hope you enjoyed your time today. Thank you for joining and have a great weekend ahead.
Advait?
Yes, sir.
I have a small part to do today. Actually, today's program, which is co-hosted by Shalom Hills International School, Gurgaon, which is a unit of Shalom Group of schools. The renowned group of schools is run under the stewardship of Dr. Mrs. Lily George, who is the founder chairperson. She is a dynamic leader and an epitome of integrity, morality, and righteousness. She has successfully created a niche for herself in the field of education, community development, and social work. She has various awards from the field of education and philanthropy, like Kalpana Chawla Excellence Award, Bharat Gaurav Lifetime Achievement Award, Mother Teresa's Excellent Award, Woman of Substance Award, to name a few to her credit. Her contribution to the field of education is highly appreciated, and it is thanks to Mrs. Lily George, the chairperson, that we were able to have such a lovely group of children and teachers who participated today. So it was nice of the school to have sent this information to me, and I thought it would be appropriate to end this program with such a wonderful information about the founder chairperson, Lily George. Thank you one and all. And Advait, now you can actually formally, we can close the event. Advait.
Yes, sir. Thank you everyone for joining today. And thank you to the SPIC MACAY Foundation for enlightening us with the video. We all had a great time today. Thank you.
And lastly, I would like to thank Vidwan Sundar sir, Lakshmi Prasad madam, and one and all, Alka madam from Shalom Hills International School for giving their valuable time to make this such a memorable event. Thank you one and all. I hope all of you enjoyed the Veena recital, and next week we would be conducting another series of great masters exactly at 3 p.m. And you will await the information about the next week's great master. Thank you one and all. Bye. Abhishek, you can call it off now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.